The best thing you could ever do for yourself is be free. The best thing you could ever expect is to not expect anything other from anybody or anyone other than yourself. That's the way you cannot be controlled by, the circumstances in the world. You expect nothing, no one or no situation or circumstances to make you happy, and you decide. Happiness is a decision. Just like people choose to be sad, you choose not to let like what someone else doesn't do, whether that person come and see me or not, whether I get the job or not, whether it rain or not, or I'm going to still be happy. I'm going to choose not to dwell in the past. I'm going to choose to live in the moment. Happiness only exists in the now. It does not exist in the past. It does not exist in the future. It exists right now. And every time you dwell in the past, every time you expect something from somebody, just expect to be disappointed. Every time you expect when something go wrong, there's a listen to the Bible. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will. When the road you're running seems uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to laugh, but you got to sigh. And something about the clouds is out. You might have one, have you stuck it out. So stick to your fight when your heart is hit. Because when things seem the worst, seem like a sleep, you're going to learn that life is a marathon, and that your fight is never over. If you live long enough, people try to tell you that once you get whatever you want, like once you get the job, you're going to be happy. Once you get the spouse, you're going to be happy. You're going to always put an expectation up, and you're going to see that you're never going to be happy. You're going to see that you're going to get older. And then you're going to say, man, I should enjoy it at that time. It's so funny why God brings sickness upon people, why God brings poverty upon people, is for, people die. It's because people die because people would never appreciate something had it not had a time, like a limit, which means an ending, had there not been a day that it ends. That's why death exists in this world. Death is an ending. It is a transformation. It's ending to our old life. And death doesn't have to be physical. It could be spiritual. It could be psychological. It doesn't have to physically have manifested. But like just the ending to a relationship or a situation or a circumstance. Like let's say you were always rich and then now you are broke, you are poor. And let me tell you something about why you should never expect something, why people are just destined to be sad, especially people that live in the world. And if you don't live in the moment right now, you're never going to be happy. If you don't live and expect anything more than what's going on right now, that's what I'm talking about, being 100% conscious of what's happening now. You are bound to be upset once you are living in the world, which is asleep. People that are asleep in the world, that's what I'm talking about, people that are sleeping in the world. God said that they're asleep, and God said do not fall asleep in the world. And let me go into detail about people falling asleep. People that believing that life is real, life is a dream. If you know it, and you want to know about what happens when you die, what happens when you wake up, you realize it's not a dream. You see when you have a dream, you have money, right? And then when you wake up, you realize that money wasn't even real, that house wasn't real, but it felt real. The mind makes it real. Pain exists in the mind. Remember that pain exists inside the mind, and you have to know that the mind makes it real. And it's like if you believe it, then it's real. So as a man thinks is what he becomes. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. As soon as your mind puts it, that's where the mind goes. Where the mind, where the man follows is where the mind goes. The mind is what controls the body, and people have to know that pain exists in the mind. And some people need to know is that there's some places that the mind cannot follow. And I'm gonna tell you, it's in this moment. The only way you can be happy, how could you be happy if you're not focused, if you're not if you're distracted, right? How could you, like, let's say it's someone's telling you something really important. If you're distracted texting or watching a car pass by, you would not be able to put your 100% focus onto what that person was telling you at that moment. So what's going to happen? You won't get 100%. You won't receive 100% of what that person is telling you. Just like if you'll see that most time when you have a happy moment, whether it's, you being around with your spouse, or you having a very good massage, that you're present at that moment and you're focused. You are here in the now. Why you think when someone says, "Are you lonely?" Most of the people that are lonely are the people that live in the past or the future. You know what I'm saying? They ask you, "Are you lonely?" or and then they say no, or what's that word? They say, "Are you here?" It's about you being here. Are you present? You know what I'm saying? Lonely, it means an emptiness. You feel a void. And you would not have been feeling the emptiness had you been in the moment, had you not been dwelling in the past, feeling like something's missing. You would not have to search. It's like how many times you hear a man, is having sex with another woman, you obviously know that somewhere there is loneliness, there is an emptiness, a void, because when someone's full, they're satisfied, what I'm saying, which is 100% focused. You got my 100% attention. When something is like serious, you got your 100% attention. Let's say you is in love with someone, that person come in the room. Even if you are doing something, that person will take your 100% focus off of whatever you was doing. That's why you are present at here and the now. What that means, whatever that person has to say is important. You know what I'm saying? And then it takes off memory. Why I'm talking about why is it important to be here in the now? That's the only way you could be happy. And if you expect anything more than what is happening in the now, you just that's what it's really about. This is what this world is about. It's to realize that this life is not real. That's why God said the earth is passing away. The earth has a time. If something has a time, that means this earth is not real. You know what I'm saying? It means that if the earth is passing away, that means the earth is even the earth, you cannot put no trust on what's happening in this earth. It's just like, it's how good is the house in this earth? It's as good as a dream, a dream, like I said, is a dream is worth nothing when you wake up. When you're dead, your dream means nothing. You realize that you cannot take that house with you. All you have is the memory. The only thing that it really matters is the memory. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you live in the moment and you live every day like it's your last, because that's what life does, is keep you humble. It brings special people and special experiences in your world so you can know. Let's say you were diabetic. There was a time you used to eat chocolate and eat all the sugar you want to, and then let's say you can't eat anymore. You just remember the times you could, and you could dwell. You could remember, like, wow, I remember eating that ice cream, but I know I can't eat it anymore, but I remember. Or like, let's say you had someone in your life and you didn't appreciate them until they're dead, and then it makes you realize, wow, I didn't know how special that person was. Or let's say you hated your job and then you finally quit it, you never got a job again. Had the experience not happened to you, you are not going to be able to realize how important it was. Just like had you not got sick, you weren't going to eat better. You know what I'm saying? And like that makes you, like, some people get sick for a reason. Some people don't know why people, like I said, some people don't know why certain things happen to people, like why somebody gets poor. But sometimes certain things happen just to make you conscious. Have you noticed how good people change? How sickness change people, right? Even the worstest people, how when many bad things happen to people, or like let's say someone say you got 3 weeks to live, how people just basically, like, who cares if you're getting married, right? If you're going to die in 3 weeks. What is the value of a marriage license, right? If you only got 3 weeks to live, it will really change everything. You'll be like, it doesn't even really matter if I get married. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that go out the window. It doesn't even really matter if you got a job. What you going to do with 3 weeks in this earth? You're going to see that money doesn't matter. That goes out the window. You're going to see a whole bunch of things don't matter. The only thing that matters is what's happening right now. And you're going to take every minute. Back in the day, you would think that you got all the time in the world, and you will realize that you don't got a lot of time. That's people are running with. People think that they're going to be here forever. They think their immortality, in that even the relationships are on time. It's not only physical life that's on time, but even the people that surround you, there's a certain time that you're going to be around that person, and that person is gone. Whether that person moves out the house, or they die, or they have a baby, or something happens to them where you cannot be around that person the same way that you ever would. That's like a death, or that person goes to a new school. Whatever happens to that person, that person is no longer available. That means that relationship, you are not assigned to that type of relationship no more. And that's how life teaches us how to live in the moment. And that's the only thing that is promised, is what's happening now. The only thing that is real is what's happening in the present. Everything else does not exist. The past does not exist, and the future does not exist. The future is nothing but like, it's nothing that you can put your hope on. Like I said, you cannot put your hope in your riches, because like I said, that's just like someone could be rich in a day. Someone can get a job in a day. Your status can change in a day. You can go from poor to rich to poor. You can go from being married to being unmarried in a day. You can go from being a spouse to a widow. You can go from being a mother to childless. You know what I'm saying? All that can change in a day. Like I said, God is the creator. God's the one who makes people. God's the one who gives people spouses. God's the one who gives you health. God could just take your legs. You could just get in a car accident. Your plan was to go to work, and God's plan was for you to be in a coma and be like a vegetable. You know what I'm saying? Were you expecting to be a vegetable that day? You had no idea that tomorrow was going to be the last day that you're going to be eating right or living right or having that good meal. That's the last time you're going to ever have a meal that's coming out your mouth. That's the last time you're going to be able to spend that money. That's the last time you're going to be able to see. That's the last time you're going to be able to hear. You can lose your hearing in a day. You can lose that spouse in a day. You know, you can go from marriage to divorce in a day. Yes, if it's whatever life could do, throw at you. You don't know what life is going to throw at you. So you don't know what to expect. That's why I don't know why people make plans, because plans or promises are just meant to be broken. You're going to see that God's going to change your plans. You're going to see that it's not going to happen. God says the king makes many plans, but God's the one who decides whether it's going to happen or not. And most of the time, God's like, you know, it's like a child making a list, and God's just like, that ain't going to happen. You have no idea. God's like, that's not going to happen. You can write all those things you want to do. How many times when you were a child, you wrote, when I grow up, I want to be this, and I want this, and did you see that it turned out that way? That's how you know that life, you're not even in control. You're not in control of who you are. You're not in control whether you're male or female. You're not in control of the day you die. You are not in control of the children you made. You're not. You know how you know you're not in control of the children you made? You didn't decide whether you had a male or a female. You did not decide they were handicapped. You did not decide how long they lived. They could be taken from you. And God's like, that's mine. I gave it to you, and I could take it away. I gave you that husband, and I could take it away. I gave you those riches, and I could take it away. I gave you that love, and I could take it away. God could take away everything. So he's saying, enjoy it while you have it. While you have that health, enjoy the health, because it could be taken away. If you're eating unhealthy, start eating healthy, because just any day, it could be taken away. If you have love or a spouse, just know it can be taken away. Appreciate the things you have. Appreciate the relationships and the people that you have, because they could be taken away. You could be alone, left alone. You know, just in a day, all those people can die. And what you're going to say, oh, I'm alone, I got no one to help me. And guess what? You thought you were living off of visible clock. I'm saying this not only for other people, I'm saying that for myself, because sometimes it's so easy to like forget. It's so easy to stay unhumble. It's so easy to just, you know, be like, man, I deserve it. But then you're going to say, who am I? Why do I deserve to have a whole family? There's some people that never have families. There's some people that never had a home. People that went from house to house. There's some people that never had a relationship. There's some people that never had a job. There's some people that are born handicapped. You have to be thankful for what you got. You know, you try to say there's nothing to be happy about because you ain't get this or that. And God's like, you better be lucky that you ain't someone else. There's also someone else that God is worth for. And that's what you got to remember. And God says to stay here in the moment. Stay here in the now, because that's the only safest place to be. It's dangerous to be in the past or the future, or living in an imagination land, which is something that you're hoping that it's not going to happen. Basically, you could plan like, okay, say I'm going to the doctor office today, I'm not planning to have a romantic dinner with my spouse, and you're gonna, when that time come around, you're gonna see that they're gonna be late. They're not gonna pick up their phone. They're gonna be running in traffic. You have a doctor appointment. You're gonna see that it's gonna be held back. You're gonna see that you're gonna have car trouble. You're gonna see it start to rain, and then that you're unable to leave the house. When you make a plan on a vacation, that's why you never plan things. You never know what's going to happen. And just for you planning it, just for you writing it down, you're going to see it's not going to happen. That's why you're going to learn the truth is that things are going to go wrong. That's why you're always disappointed. That's why you have bad luck in love. It's because you expect more in life than it should be. You have to know that life, people are not perfect, and life is not perfect. And you got to know that bad things will happen to people and to you. And you have to know to not react to the circumstances, not to react when someone doesn't call you back, not to react when someone doesn't, when you don't get your way. And stay in control and say, you're not in control, but God is always in control. God's always in control. God is always calm. God is peaceful. He is neither happy. It's good to be neutral, not to even be happy or sad, but just to be calm, to be peace, have a peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? It's not even good to have joy. It's not even good to be happy. it's good to be neutral, which is I'm all right. That's what God was telling me. You're gonna be all right. He never promised me I was gonna be happy, but He said you're gonna always be all right. That's what He always told me, and that's what I always believe. He never promised me anything more than that. He said you will always be all right, and that's how I know. He never said I was gonna be happy or whatever, but you're gonna be all right, you know. And you're gonna see that things when they come out in life, they're not gonna turn out perfect, but guess what? They're gonna turn out all right. It's not gonna happen when you want it to, but it's gonna happen when it needs to happen, when it's the best time, which is the time. That's all. That's not all right. That's why I said when things go wrong, because things will go wrong, as things always will. Things will always go wrong. Things will never always go right, and it will never go 100% right. Okay? It will never go 100% right. That's why I say to stay in the moment, stay here and now. That's the only way you could be happy, is by not expecting nothing. It's either this: you could try, but don't, try to the point, like, don't bet on it. Like I said, like, don't put your whole lottery on it. It's good to chase the dream, but don't sacrifice your fortune. Don't sacrifice, your health, or your house. Like, sell your house. Like, don't put all your bids in one basket. You try, but you don't try to the point that if you lost, you will commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? Like that, where it means so much to you. Like, I never got saying something like you want it too bad. That's why you again, you can't want something too bad. You can never want something more than you want your now, which is your present moment. Not only, like I said, yourself, but your now, which is like right now. I don't want nothing more right now. I just want to sleep. You know what? When you're so out of control, all you can say, God, I don't want nothing. I don't want a man. I don't want to be rich. All I just want is to relax. And then you see everything happening, everything good happening. It's when you're just not even trying. You're not even trying to make it happen. That's when you see that everything falls into place. It's when you relax and you stop trying to make things happen. Stop trying to control people. Stop trying to manipulate people to call you, or to like, or to get something to occur. Like some people, like, let's say they're in a Twinflames or soulmate relationship, or in a relationship that they try to get their spouse to like talk to them or talk to question, and they're not ready. You see, when things are meant to happen, they'll happen at their own time, naturally on their own. And when you're trying to manipulate the relationship, that ego is trying to play God. You are asking for another dark night of the soul when you're trying to create a circumstance, when you're trying to make something happen, like maybe if I wear this type dress, or maybe if I say this to my, he or she, that this person may do something, or maybe if I say this, or if I put this away, or if I try that, and you're going to see all those things. Don't try to make something happen. That's if you also want to get off of that separation quicker. Don't try to make anybody do anything. Don't try to make yourself get a job. Don't try to, like, you can always feel like when you're pushing it. When you say too much or when you do too much, you have to know when to speak and when to hold back. Like you see when let's say that that's your twin flame, right? The other person may not know that, whether you're the runner or the stayer, whatever that garbage is. And then, like, let's say, like, if you reveal too much, you might lose them forever. And if you say too little, you might feel like you lose forever. But if you just let things flow, what I'm saying, not really try to press and, like, let it go. Or if you don't feel like you're going to die, if you don't say another word to that person, then you can make it. If it's not like it's going to kill you if you don't get together, if you guys don't end up together, or if you don't get that job. Maybe if I just add another thing to my energy, maybe if I like it anything, or if you don't feel like you have to stretch your back, bend your back just to make something happen, or kiss ass. That means you want it too bad. You're kissing ass, you want it too bad. You feel like, because you're not acting like your natural self. If you ever felt like you're trying too hard, like, God, you have to make up stuff like, oh, I'll be able to come at 9 and you got to watch your kids at 8. That's just, or that place is too far to drive, but you still want a job so bad. That's a sign that you're settling, and that's a sign that you're gonna go to another dark night of the soul. You're gonna be separated with the twin flame for so much longer. That's what I'm trying to say, is that the best thing to do is live in the moment. Don't try to make anything happen. Don't try to. That's the best thing about the dark night of the soul. Don't try to make anything happen. Be patient. Making, surrendering to the universe, letting them have the full, let God in control, let God drive, and try to be the driver, because that's the other sign that you're trying to play God. You know what I'm saying? And just don't worry about the future. And that's the best way to live, is not worrying like a child. You don't even know what's going to happen. Just like, isn't it a good thing to be surprised, pleasant surprised? Let's just say when you were expecting, they call you, when they show up at your job. You know, you could be happy or something like that. You see that you did get the job, but you weren't even thinking about it. It's like this. You should be like this in a point where, like I said, you don't put all your eggs in one basket where you feel like you would commit suicide if you didn't get married or if you didn't get the job. It's kind of like this. I know I'm not going to die if I don't talk to this person. If this person doesn't text me, I'm not going to die. If they don't give me the job, I'm not going to die. That's what you say to yourself. That's what I'm talking about. You know, I'm not going to die if I don't get married. I'm not going to die if we're not together. I'm not going to die. And I'm not going to let this situation be more important. You know what's more important than all those things about getting a job? Is someone that has good health. Because what's the point of having a good job or being married? Who cares about being married if you're losing your mind, if you're crazy? I know my dad said, a woman without a mind, even if she's beautiful, like a man would not even talk to her. You know what I'm saying? What are you without your mind? Your mind is more important. Keeping your mind, because the devil's after your mind. He wants to make you go crazy. He wants you to commit suicide, make you feel like you lost everything. That's what the devil wants you to do. And God's like, don't worry. But like I said, what's the point of being married if you losing your mind? You don't got a mind, or you're a vegetable, or if you're handicapped, or if you're sick. That's why you eat healthy, because you don't want to be sick. You want to enjoy having sex. You want to enjoy your spouse. Even if God gave you a spouse, if you're sick, how can you enjoy the marriage? Even if God gave you a job, how can you enjoy your job? These are things you have to worry about, is your health, because your health is your wealth. Your health is more important than your job. Your health is your wealth. What you need, if you want to have a job, is eat right. So if you get a job, you can, be able to stand up and work. And if you're able to feed your kids, you are able to have a stable mind. If you don't have a stable mind, if you are like a drunk person, you cannot be stable enough to take care of kids. You are able to take care of yourself. If you're at a weak state where you cannot take care of yourself, or you're on a wheelchair, you are not good at taking care of family or even giving advice. You are not even someone to, a good role model to watch. So like I said, things to worry about is yourself. Number one, put yourself first. And number two is to live in the moment and to not settle for less than what you deserve. And know that you're not going to die, whether you don't get a job, whether you don't get your dream come true. You just know that I'm going to be all right. I know maybe I'm not going to get the job, but I know I'm going to be all right. Maybe I didn't get a baby this year, but I'm going to be all right. I'm not going to die if I didn't get a baby this year. I'm not going to die if I didn't get married. I'm not going to die if I didn't get this or that. I know I can live without it. And I can function well without it. You know why I can't die? Well, you know what will happen to me? What I can't live without is water. I know I can't live without food. I know I can't live without, I hate being sick. You don't want to be sick. There's some things that, you need. God will give you what you need. But He won't always give you what you want. And that's what you have to respect God. You have to understand that God works in timing. And you just got to trust the universe. And once you start trusting the universe, you're bound to succeed. It's succeeding means that, people that never expect for more. Like I said, it's okay to want more, but it's better to be like, even if it happens, like, it's kind of like this. Have you ever seen people that got married? They will most likely didn't even want to get married. It's like you want it, but you're not even really trying. Or someone that got a job, they had it, but they weren't even like, they kind of like could walk away from it. You know what I'm saying? Or someone that was rich. People that are rich, how they rarely need it. Like I said, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like you want. It's not like, okay. It's kind of like this: care but don't care. I never God always said love them, but also let them go, but also hope they come back. You get it? You love, but you're not attached. Don't attach yourself to drink. It means that you're hopeful, but you are not attached to the point where you can't let go. Which means that it's going to kill you if you let go. That's what I'm talking about. You want it, but you don't want it as like, okay, this is how you balance the masculine and feminine. This is basically what I'm trying to say. You can't be too aggressive, and you can't be too soft, and you can't be too submissive. You gotta have balance, because it's either this. You can't say too much, and you can't say too little. You gotta know when to speak. You gotta know when to talk. You have to know when you're doing too much. When you're trying too hard to get that job, trying too hard to keep that man. You gotta know when to hold back and be like, hold up, I'm going too far over here. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying too hard. I'm losing my mind. I can't get no sleep. Okay? You got to know these things. That's how you balance life. That's how you start flowing in life. Is when you know when to move. It's just like contractions. You know when to push. If you push too early, you're gonna waste energy. If you push at the right time, when you feel the contraction come, and until you push, you gotta wait. You gotta feel it. You just know. It's called about. That's how you know about self control. That's why the Twinflames got master self control. They got master patience. You gotta learn so many things. And that's what I'm trying to say. You gotta know when you're saying too much. Like a woman can't talk too much. They're trying to say you can't be too submissive. Like I said, that's what I'm talking about. The women back in the day, they were too submissive. And like it's like this. People back in the day, they're thinking that they have to be more masculine now, or the man thinking that he has to be more feminine. But the truth is to balance these two. There's nothing wrong with them. But it's just like it's just because you are a female, right? It doesn't mean that you have to always be womanly. There's a time to have a backbone. There's a time to speak. There's a time to fight, even if you are a woman. Back in the day, why they saying that it was not in balance is because people or a man, like it's not right for a man to cry or whatever like that. It's just he was that's why they say it's imbalanced. The earth was imbalanced because the man was not using the other side of himself when he needed to use it, and the woman was not using the other side of herself when she needed to use it. Especially she was being too masculine, and she was being too feminine. She was not knowing when to be, aggressive, when she really needs to fight, when she really needs to speak. She's a woman. She knows when to submit. There's time to submit, and then there's a time to speak. You see, that's why it says in the Bible, there's a time to cry. Even in the Bible, there's a time to cry. There's a time to sleep, like how it is in Ephesians. So like I said, that's what it's about. That's why Twinflames are here to set an example how a true divine love is not about just you submitting to your husband and you loving your wife. It's about you, balancing these two and knowing that it's not just a woman submitting to her husband, because the man also has to love his wife. And it also is like, it's just like this when I was talking about the other video about the man, respecting his wife, is that even though you are, you're submissive, right? And like he's in control, you also like won't just let him treat you like a dog. And it doesn't mean like you fight back, but you just know how to do it, how to say it, and when to say it. You know when to speak. Okay, and you do it in a respectable way. Okay, and it's a balanced way, not like an aggressive way or an masculine way where you're pushing him on the floor trying to make a point. But there's other ways to do it. There's other ways to make your point and show that you have a backbone, that you're not going to just be like, okay, like you see the female dog, right? What I was talking about is that she could be treated any type of way and talk any type of way, and she might, always be talking junk. But I'm talking about a woman that, is respectable, will like show that she has a backbone by, just like if he talks down on you or he or she talks down on you where someone's trying to boss you around, you will show like, okay, let's say the doctor wants you to kiss his ass, or if you want this job, like if you want to enter to the entertainment industry, they have people like sell their soul to get rich because they know you're desperate for money, or they know you're desperate for a job, or you want a ring, that you're gonna have sex with him. You just show them like, look, I'm not gonna have sex with you. You say no, and then they know they have to respect you, whether you have a relationship or whether a job. They have to respect you because they know you're not desperate. You're not just gonna. You'll be treated with respect. Like I said, a place where you won't settle. When you don't settle, you will have respect, and you if they do give you the job, they'll respect you, knowing that you could walk out. If things are not right, you will leave. You know when to leave. That's the point. You have to know when to leave. You have to know when you said too much, when you've done too much, when to wash your hands. It's never to give up, but always hope, but don't stay attached. That's all I have to say about be happy, living in the moment, how to get rid of the separation process. The easiest and simplest way to stay away from the dark night of the soul, to stay out of the dark night of the soul, which is ego, and to be happy, to stay happy by living in the moment. And that's basically why a lot of people are suffering this one, because their expectations is to not expect anything more than what's happening in the moment, and etc. I don't know what else I said, but I'm trying to give a summary off of whatever I say. Till the next time, I'll see you guys.